Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Ivy and I'm a YouTuber based in Asaba, Delta State, Nigeria. In today's video, we are going to be talking about our top 5 favorite face powders for oily skin. In fact, for any skin type, okay? Now, if this is a content you would like to see, then please keep on watching and don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe to my channel down below, okay? Welcome back guys. So our top 5 favorite face powders for oily skin and for any other skin type. Now if you have any other skin type, you can use these powders. The only thing is that you cannot bake with these powders. So without much further ado, the first powders on our list right here are the Mercier translucent loose setting powder. Now I'm sure you are sitting there and wondering, why does she have 2 setting powders, for crying out loud? Yeah, well, I'm dark skinned and sometimes we have to mix things together to get what we want, and that's not my reason though. The reason why I have these 2 setting powders is because there are just days, I love this powder a lot to begin with, and there are just days when I don't want to have like that overly bright under eye highlight, and so I go in with the shade medium deep. And then on those days when maybe I have a black smoky eye or just something, I just want that extra bright under eye highlight, I go in with the shade translucent. Now mind you, Mercier just came out with another setting powder, I think in the shade honey or so. I've not really researched into that, but these are the 2 I have right here. So hopefully I should be using that to replace this translucent. But getting back to the video, there are other times too when I just want to have my own concoction mixture, and then I mix the medium deep and the translucent together to get like a perfect shade. Okay, now this setting powder I use to set underneath my eye highlight, to reverse contour on my face, just to clean up my contour, and it's really very good. It's something that you can use to set your face and it lasts the whole day. Like, it doesn't smudge, it doesn't budge, it's just stays in place, sets your makeup in place. You can cry and just, you know, tap off the tears and your makeup is still in place. So don't sleep on this powder. The only thing with these powders is that if you're based here in Nigeria like me, powders are expensive. Very expensive. And if you're not a makeup lover, a makeup artist, or it's not something that you feel you can afford right now, I don't know. But if you are into makeup correctly, like you're a makeup person, makeup lover, makeup addict, then you should have heard about these powders, and they are one of the best setting powders on the market right now. Okay, so don't sleep on this. Second setting powders on our list are right here. These are the Juvia's Place I Am Magic setting powders. Once again, you're wondering, why does she have 2? You're going to see a lot of 2 setting powders here. I'm just extra like that. I love makeup too much. Anyway, I have 2 shades right here. I have the shade Kalahari and the shade Gobi. Short story, I went on the Juvia's Place website when they were having their Christmas sales or something last year, and I was confused. I didn't know what shades. I already knew shades I love, the kind of colors I love, but I didn't really know how it was going to look like in person. So I chose the closest 2 I felt were going to work on my skin tone, that were like a bit similar or slightly darker than the normal Sasha Buttercup setting powder. But those were these 2, the Kalahari and the Gobi. Gobi is more the shade I love because it's not overly bright. Kalahari is more like your banana yellow powder. Now these setting powders I love a lot. I have been using, as you can see, I am almost running out, and I'm having a mini BP thinking about going to repurchase these things, because the dollar to naira exchange rate right now in September 2020 is cutthroat. It's, you know, buying things from the abroad now, you have to think about it. Like, you have to really think whether it's worth it. Anyway, back to the setting powders. Setting powders are good. all the setting powders I'm going to be talking about here today work amazingly well with all my concealers and all my foundations, so I don't have any problem. Now, I've not really tried these setting powders as all over face powder. I just use them as an under eye brightening powder, or just to clean up my contour or something. I've not really used them, any of these powders, apart from the Mercier, I think, or maybe one of the other powders I'll talk about. I've not really used this one for all over face powder, but I've seen reviews and it does work. This powder sets your makeup in place throughout the whole day. The only issue I have with this powder is that it's pretty small, and that is the reason why I'm running out. Now, I'm going to be showing you in comparison with the Mercier translucent loose setting powder. You can see, you know, just putting this in front, you can see how small it is compared to the Mercier powder. So let me try and get the actual size. This is 13 gram and this is 29 grams, so this is even double this. I mean, for the price, this is really small. But the only thing, when I run out of it, I can actually use the empty containers to decant powders in case I'm traveling, so I don't have to carry a lot of like bulky things. The third setting powder on my list right here today is the W7 Banana Dreams loose powder. I have a love-hate relationship with this powder. I don't know why. When I initially started using this powder, when a couple of years back, when it initially came into the market, it had this banana yellow tone or hue to it, and I loved that about this powder. In fact, I raved about this powder. This was like my favorite powder. And then I used to get it from a shop right somewhere at Benin in Edo State, right here in Nigeria. And I went to the shop and they had run out of it, so I tracked down W7 on Instagram, got their website handle, and went on to order about 12 of these. Now, when they arrived, it was still same W7 Banana Dreams loose powder, similar everything, but it came in a beige like powder. I mean, the powder still does the fantastic job it has always been doing, but the only thing is, whenever I set my under eye highlight with this powder, I always have to go in over top that with my normal face setting powder just to tone it down a bit. You can bake with this powder, you can do everything with this powder. This is one of the setting powders that you apply. You know, there are times when you are going to certain places and certain events, and you already know what works for you. You know what is going to like give you the result you want, have the staying power and everything. This W7 Banana Dreams loose setting powder is one of those powders. It's quite affordable and I really do love it. It sets your makeup in place. As always, I only use, I mean, look at the shade, it's really light. So I only use this to set my other eye highlights. I have never really used this for any other thing other than that. But if you have oily skin, please look into this powder. I'm telling you, powders that you use to set your makeup, that keeps your makeup in place. Like, you will cry, rain will beat you, everything will happen, and your makeup is still going to be in place. So if you have oily skin, don't sleep on this powder. Now, if you have dry skin or any other skin type, you can use this powder, but I will not advise you to bake underneath your eye, especially because it's going to leave it dry, crusty, and all of that, and that's not a good look. So just set with it. But if you have oily skin, you can bake with this powder. Just remember, you have to go over top that with your face setting powder. The fourth setting powder on our list right here is the Maybelline Fit Me Loose Finishing Powder in the shade Medium Deep. Now, I used to have this in the shade Medium and Medium Deep. Medium was just a little bit too light for me, and so I think I gave it to a friend, or I sold it. I can't really remember. Anyway, my guys, oh guys, running out. Like, I'm just running out of multiple things at the same time. This powder is almost gone. I'm sad on the morning. Well, what do we do? Let's just keep managing it. Let's just keep managing it until it runs out. Anyway, this is the Maybelline Loose Finishing Powder in the shade Medium Deep. Now, it has its specifications Are you into tech? IV. It has its, what's the word now? Whatever it claims to be, it claims at the back of it. And so I'm going to read it out. It says mineral-based formula helps control shine and smooth skin texture. That is true. Lightweight translucent coverage. That is true. Fresh natural look. That is true. Can be used alone or over foundation. I've never really tried it alone, but I've used over foundation, and yeah, it can be used over foundation. And I think that is all it says here. No, it says to apply with a brush. Swirl brush into powder, tap off excess, and lightly dust over face. Now I use this, all the powders I have here, apart from the Mercier translucent loose setting powder, which I use with a puff, I use every other thick powder right here with a beauty blender. A damp beauty blender, not a wet one. Don't spoil your powder. A damp beauty blender works best for setting your under eye highlight, according to Ivy Ludovic. Okay, now this setting powder I love a lot. It's not as light as some of the other powders I've spoken about here. This is almost my skin tone. It's just slightly lighter than the Mercier translucent loose setting powder in medium deep, the powder we spoke about earlier. I really love this because it's not every day you want to go out and you have a popping bright highlight. Some days you just want it toned down, and on those days I go in with this. Now this is the twist. When using this Maybelline Fit Me Loose Finishing Powder, no matter how oily you claim your skin is, I mean, it can be oilier than mine, but no matter how oily you claim your skin is, please don't try to bake with this powder. If you leave your face dry, like for the first few hours, you're not gonna like your face. So what I do, I just set. I make sure I set properly with this powder and then bake a little bit around my nose area, and that is it. Please don't bake with this powder. If you have dry skin, of course, don't even attempt to bake with any powder, more so this one. But if you have oily skin, please don't try to bake with this powder. Okay, are you ready? Boom. Now the last powders we have on our list right here are the Beauty by AD translucent loose setting powders in the shades Amber and Tawny. Oh yeah, I got it. Now you are wondering why I am happy and excited talking about these face powders. These face powders, setting powders, are from a Nigerian brand called Beauty by AD, and as of today, September 2020, these are the best setting powders on the market, hands down. Best, quote me anywhere. Now this Beauty by AD setting powders came out sometime 2 years ago or so, and I heard someone talk about it, and I was running out of most of my products at the time, and so I just decided to let me just buy one and try out, and I did. So most times we look down on our local brands, and I heard about it, but I saw the packaging and I said, no, there must be something about this powder. Let me just buy one and try out, and I did, and I fell in love with it. Now these powders, they come in 4 shades. You have the shade Lucent, which is a white powder, Amber, which is a banana yellowish powder. You have Tawny, which is my absolute best shade for my skin tone. Okay, and then you have a shade darker than Tawny, which is called beige. Like if you are my shade darker than me, upwards on that spectrum of melanin, then that beige color will be very good for you. Now these face setting powders, once more, I have 2 here with me, but I actually own 3 because this is not the kind of powder you want to sleep on. So I always like to have them handy. I use the shade beige to reverse contour most times. I use the shade Amber on this when I want a very like bright highlight. I have this in my kit. For those of you who don't know, I'm a working makeup artist, and I love the shade Tawny as well, which is like my everyday. This is just in rotation on my vanity. Beauty by AD. The only gripe I have with this is the case. Like if you are not careful, when you do open it, it does spill out like everywhere. But if you just like decant it a little bit into the sifter, just do that carefully. So if you just have a little bit decanted into the sifter, it doesn't like really spread all over. Or if you're like me and you have empty containers from other powders, love their containers. You can just decant this into that and you're good to go. Other than that, these powders are really beautiful. I love them. Shout out to Beauty by AD. I mean, they did a very, very wonderful product right here. And coming close, come. Let me let you in on a little secret, okay? Because you watch up to this point. Now, this secret is between me and you. Don't tell anybody. It's just for your ears only. I always mass purchase this Beauty by AD setting powders. Ask me how. Now go over to Instagram, follow Beauty by AD on Instagram. About 2 or 3 times in a year. Most of these powders, I did not put their prices because I don't know how much they currently retail. It depends on where you're based, how you can lay access to these. But for these Beauty by AD setting powders, they retail normally for 8,000 naira, 8k. So if you're based here in Nigeria with the naira dollar rate, exchange rate increasing and skyrocketing and all of that, you can lay your hands on this, then you don't have any problem, and there are enough shades to go around. Now back to our gist. Twice a year, Beauty by AD normally has a discount. I don't know, like a flash sales kind of thing, where they slash the prices of these powders from 8,000 to 4,000 naira. 8k to 4k, which means that the price you would have used to buy one powder, you can actually use to buy 2. So I always follow them and I always check. And on the days when I see the flash sale, 24 hours, so no more than 24 hours, I just quickly jump on the website and order, mass order, like order pieces, order anyhow. I order 2 and just keep it jejely. And once one finishes, I have my backup. So that is the secret. So if you don't have money or you want to try several sheets, you can hold on. Or just buy one first and try out. I know you are going to love it because you know I will not give you or tell you the bad thing. I will not recommend any bad products here. So Beauty by AD setting powders are wonderful powders. Now the day I feared this powder, if you're Nigerian, you understand what I mean by the word fear. Rain beats me. Rain beats me that day, pieces. I had set my under eye highlight with the tawny shade and I had set all over my face with the shade beige. Rain beat me, my weaves were soaking wet, my face was dripping of water, and I got home. And I just took a towel and dabbed my face. Hoping to see patches and splotches everywhere. For where my makeup was intact in place. That day, I said, this setting powder, I don't know where you are from, but you have become my favorite. So once you use the setting powder, see, it's smudge proof, bud proof, rain proof, waterproof, tear proof, everything proof. Once you set with this powder, bam, just take your damn beauty sponge, apply it, you're good to go. Your makeup is not going anywhere. You are set until you physically take it off. It's not going anywhere. Okay, now that is the last of our face setting powders for oily skin. Now I hope you had a nice time. I hope you watched to the end. I hope you now know, or if you have oily skin, you now know all the secret powders that will work for your skin type. So you don't have to start buying and testing out different powders. I have done that. I am giving you the Cocoa top 5. So if you have oily skin, just stick to these powders and you are good to go. All right, thank me later by subscribing to my channel underneath. Subscribe, guys. Just click. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you in my very next video. Bye, guys.